What's up, guys? Vital Syntax here, and the Battlefield Hardline beta is coming to an end on Monday, so I thought I would make a video talking about the things I liked about it, the things I didn't like about it, and kind of give you my impressions and opinions of the beta so far. Specifically, this is for people that maybe didn't have a whole lot of time to play the beta themselves or at all. Hopefully, if you've played the Hardline beta, you already have your own opinions about the game, and you already have a good understanding about whether or not you want to buy the full game once it comes out in a couple weeks. And if you haven't had a chance to play it, then I would strongly recommend playing it because it's very close to the final game. It doesn't have all the maps and it doesn't have some of the tweaking and stuff that they'll do before the game is released, but it's so close to what I expect we would see in the full game. It's very well polished. They took a couple extra months to change a couple things up and polish the game from the last time we got to play it. I think it was I don't remember if it was an alpha or beta or whatever they called it, but my impressions back then weren't that strong. If you would have asked me after playing that original alpha or beta whether or not I was going to buy the game, the answer would have been no. And the main reason was because the game felt too much like Battlefield 4, and I'd played Battlefield 4 for 2 years already. I don't want to play Battlefield 4 for a whole another year with Hardline. I wanted something new, I wanted something fresh and different. And I think with this most recent beta that's still ongoing until Monday, they showed that Battlefield Hardline has indeed changed quite a bit over the past couple months, and they've added new game modes, they've changed the classes around, and they've changed kind of the dynamics of how teamwork works, some of the different things that, just gameplay mechanics, I think they've tweaked quite a bit. And I'll talk about some of those and the things that I liked about the game, and then there's also a couple things I don't like about it, but so far I'm actually really impressed. And if you were to ask me now if I was going to buy the game myself, I would say yeah. But I think you should make your own opinion about that. I'm not going to pre-order the game, and I wouldn't recommend you do either. I'd wait and see once the game comes out if there's launch day issues with servers. Look at maybe some of the reviews of the single player, and then determine if you want to spend $60 on the game. But regardless, let's talk about some of the things I liked about Battlefield Hardline in this most recent beta. The first thing that I liked was the new game modes. They have Heist, which is kind of like Rush, but not really, where you have, they only have one map, I think it's called Bank Job, which actually reminds me a lot of the game Payday 2 or even Payday 1. And I'm really excited to see the other maps they have for this game mode. It sounds like they are going to try and tailor each map to a specific game mode instead of just creating one map and then putting all the game modes on it. I don't know if they're going to do that, or if they're just going to tailor it to one, but it sounded like they were just going to have, Bank Job be specifically designed for Heist, the game mode. And essentially you have the cops and robbers, which is, the fundamental conflict in Battlefield Hardline, where the robbers are trying to get in and steal money from a vault, and there's a ton of different strategies and tactics. And the way that the map is designed, there's so many different entry points. You can come through the ceiling, you can run around the backside, you can go straight in, you can try and flank the enemies. Playing on both sides, it feels like there's so many options, so many different routes, that there's no, choke points in the map. I mean, there's maybe a couple, but there's more than one that allow you to flank or go around this way and that way. And some of the new gadgets, like the zip line and the grapple hook, allow you to navigate the map much more quickly. Like, for example, if you're playing Heist and you're on the rooftop trying to get from the bank rooftop to the parking lot to get out of or take the money to the helicopter. If you're playing as the robbers, you can get up on top of the roof, shoot a zip line across, and then instantly basically slide over to the other side of the roof. You can still get shot while you're on the zip line, but it adds a lot of fun and maneuverability to the gameplay. And in general, it feels like the characters move a little bit faster, the time to kill is a little bit faster. The game is just a little bit faster compared to Battlefield 4, not to mention that it's mostly infantry-based versus vehicle-based. Or the zip line, or the grapple hook, for example. You can go up on top of a roof real quickly, whereas before you have to waste a helicopter or use your parachute and try and land on top of a rooftop. Now you can use the grapple hook to navigate the map much more quickly, which makes you often in previous Battlefield games you'd have snipers on top of rooftops, and it was like really annoying because you couldn't get to them unless you set up a vehicle, a flying vehicle, or parachuted in or something like that. Now you can use these tools to go out and take out that sniper that's annoying you in the back of the map. But more so, it's used for navigating the map and things like that. And I think the maps were designed really well, at least the bank job map, and they have new equipment placed around the map where you can get defibrillators, you can get ammo, you can get health packs. That way you don't have to rely on your teammates that maybe aren't going to be so generous about dropping those items on the ground. You can also just walk up to them and take the ammo or health. So those are a couple things I really liked about it. I like that the focus is more on infantry. I've always been more of an infantry focused player. I do like tanks and jets and helicopters and stuff that are iconic to Battlefield, but this is still a Battlefield game, but it's an infantry focused Battlefield game. So if you liked playing like Grand Bazaar or Operation Metro in, you know, Battlefield 3, then I think that type of infantry focused gameplay is what you're going to see a lot in Battlefield Hardline, because you do have some jeeps, you have some helicopters, you have some SUVs and other types of vehicles that have maybe even guns mounted on them, but you don't have heavy tanks, you don't have, you know, APCs, you don't have jets, which for me personally is a good thing. Those types of vehicles are fun in Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 3, but I'm more of an infantry focused player, and that's what I enjoy playing more. So for me personally, that's a pro. That might be a con. Maybe if you were just a jet player, just a helicopter player in Battlefield 3 or 4, then this game might not be for you, because it really is infantry focused. There's a lot of gunplay and just shooting with, you know, infantry on the ground. On top of Bank Heights, they also have Hotwire, which is another really cool game mode where it's really fun with friends, not so much by yourself, because there's a lot of teamwork that goes into it. You often want to get 3 or 4 people, or maybe just at least 2, in a vehicle, and the vehicles are essentially the capture points, like Conquest. You know, they're the flag points. So there'll be marked vehicles around the map, and you want to go and control those vehicles and just drive around the map and stay alive in those vehicles. And that it creates, you know, like car chases, which is, you know, just make perfect sense for cops versus robbers, but it's not really something I've ever really experienced in a video game before. It's a new type of thing, but it's still very familiar. It's something that you could do in, I guess, in other Battlefield games, but they've added some new mechanics. For example, you can lean out of a window while you're, you know, not driving. If you're a passenger or in the back seat or something, you can lean out and shoot your gun or shoot your rocket launcher. And you can get upgrades for your vehicles where you can get a rocket launcher in the back trunk of your vehicle, and which are obviously going to be really powerful for taking out other vehicles. And now you can't spawn in with an RPG, so they're like kind of power weapons that are placed around the map, similar with light machine guns and a couple other things like stingers. So some of those things I think come together really well with the new game modes, with those new gameplay improvements, to make this game feel different enough but still fairly familiar. So those are some of the things I really liked about it. I like the new maps as well, although we've only got to play 3 of them. Some of the things I don't like is the weapon balance, which is something that they already are talking about changing. There's a couple bugs that they've already talked about fixing. Obviously it's a beta, so there's things that we should expect for them to change, but right now it still feels like the M16 is the best gun in the game. The M416 is the second best. And if you're on the robber's side, you can't even use those weapons, which I kind of like that imbalance, because, you know, a lot of people, if you look at people's gun stats, including myself, in Battlefield 3, for example, have 50% of their kills with the M16A3 because it was an overpowered weapon, and because the assault kit was an overpowered kit. I think they've done a better job in Hardline of balancing the kits, but I still think the assault kit is the best class, because it's an infantry-focused game, because they have the best weapons, and because you have the med kit. Now, I don't really have a solution for balancing out the kits better, but they have done a better job. I feel like the submachine guns are better up close. They do kill faster than the M16, but the M16 has like no recoil. It's like a laser beam. The damage drop off is very far, and it barely drops off. And I think it has like a 28 point damage, max damage up close, instead of just 25. So it easily kills in 4 shots, even at longer ranges, and it has a high rate of fire. But once again, these are things that I hope they will fix. I just want to note that there is some weapon imbalances. I feel like some of the shotguns are a little bit too far range. Some of the submachine guns need maybe a little bit more range. But, you know, overall, things like that are always going to be issues in a beta or an alpha or some type of experimental test. And once they have the full game, they'll probably still be balancing issues that they'll have to just continue to work on and iron out. There also is a very annoying bug with the AWM or AWP sniper rifle with the, I think it was the Magnum ammos. or magnum ammo, where it doesn't do any damage after like 50 feet, but it does a ton of damage to vehicles, like 20% damage. And that, I think that's going to be I'm interested to see how they'll end up balancing that weapon, because it's a one-hit kill in most places up close or medium range, even at longer ranges, but we don't know because the gun doesn't do any damage at longer ranges because it's bugged. But it's a one-hit kill at medium range in the chest, in the head, in the shoulders, in the stomach, maybe in the thighs. I don't know about the legs and the arms, but that's the first time I've seen a other than the pickup weapons in Battlefield 4, you know, a sniper rifle that's a one-hit kill like that. Which, you know, I'm curious to see if they're going to keep that or if they're going to remove that upgrade from the game. I also really liked the unlock system. So now you get money by doing just whatever kills objectives, and you can spend that money on whatever you want in whatever order. So you could buy a gun now and buy a different gun later. You don't have to worry about, you know, unlocking it by hitting a certain level. And yeah, I think that's it. There's probably some other things that I'm missing, but overall my impressions, you know, months ago when I played the original alpha or beta for Hardline were not very positive because it was too much like Battlefield 4. But now it feels like with the new game modes and gameplay improvements, as well as some new class tweaks and new weapons and stuff, that I will probably be buying it. But I'm not going to pre-order the game. It's going to be one of those things where the game's going to come out, I'm not going to buy it and wait a couple days, see what people's opinions are, see how the launch day results are. Obviously, very bad launch with Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4, and just almost all games in general nowadays. So if you wait a couple weeks, then you don't have to deal with all the issues that kind of come out from launch day games, especially multiplayer online games. And also see about the single player. I've heard the single player is going to be, you know, a lot more. It's a much bigger focus for Visceral than, you know, the previous Battlefield games. I'm not excited for it, but I probably would play the single player. But yeah, anyway, if you guys have not had a chance to play the beta, you have one more day. Would recommend it because it's just going to give you a good idea of whether or not, you know, you want to buy the game, and give you, you know, 90% of what, 90% experience of what you can expect from the full game as far as multiplayer goes. But if you have already played the beta, let me know in the comments down below what you thought of it. Do you agree with me on some of the weapon balance tweaks that need to happen, and some of the things that feel a little bit unbalanced? What things did you like about it? Did you like the new game modes? What things did you not like about it? And I'll make sure to read you guys' comments. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.